everyone, this is Miss Amanda. I'm recording from home, and today I'm going to be reading you two picture books. The first one is called Floaty by John Himmelman, and this is with permission from Macmillan Publishers. And the second book is going to be Tiny T-Rex and the Impossible Hug, and that's by Jonathan Stutzman and illustrated by Jay Fleck, and this is with permission from Chronicle Books. But before we get started with our stories, let's just do a quick Storytime song that might be familiar if you've come to my Storytimes before, just to get everyone a chance to get on the live stream. So it goes like this. You can follow along with my hands and my motions at home, and here we go. Way up in the sky, the little birds fly. Way down in their nest, the little birds rest. With a wing on the left and a wing on the right, the little birds sleep all through the night. Shh, they're sleeping. Then out comes the sun, the dew falls away. Good morning, the little birds say. Great job, everyone. So let's get started with our first book. This is Floaty by John Himmelman, again with permission from Macmillan Publishers. I wonder what this one's about. Okay. So, Mr. Raisin lived alone in a little house, and inside that little house, he loved to sew. Mr. Raisin didn't like anything else, only sewing. One morning, he found a basket at his front door. It had a note attached that read, "All yours, too much trouble. Good luck." What's in that basket? So Mr. Raisin, he brought the basket inside, and it was empty. But was it? What do you see? Woof, said something from above, and Mr. Raisin looked up. A puppy was stuck to the ceiling. "Get down from there," shouted Mr. Raisin, and he nudged the dog with his broom. The dog slid across the ceiling and right into the other room. So Mr. Raisin climbed onto a chair and grabbed the dog. "Outside with you," he said, and he opened the door, and he was about to let the dog go, but he stopped. "You'll just float away, won't you?" Mr. Raisin said. So he brought the dog back inside. "This doesn't mean you're staying," Mr. Raisin said. "But I guess dogs need to eat, even annoying ceiling dogs." So he put a bowl of cornflakes on the floor. "Woof," said the dog from the ceiling. "Do you think he can reach those cornflakes on the floor? I don't know, let's see." So Mr. Raisin says, "Oh, you can't come down." So Mr. Raisin tossed the cornflakes one at a time into the air. That's a good trick, right? "You probably need water too," Mr. Raisin said. "What's he using to give the dog water?" "A garden hose. How silly is that?" So the dog floated to the front door. "Woof," he barked. "Blah," complained Mr. Raisin. "I have to take you for a walk too?" I guess even floating dogs have to go for walks. So here they are outside, and what do the neighbors say? "Funny balloon," said Agnes Withers. "Not a balloon, it's a dog," said Mr. Raisin. "Your kite needs a longer tail," said Mr. Poots. "Not a kite, a dog," grunted Mr. Raisin. "There goes Nutty Mr. Raisin," said Mrs. Stringle. "Blah," said Mr. Raisin. He doesn't seem very friendly though. So he went back inside, and he wasn't used to having company, but the dog stayed out of his way most of the time. At night, he was a terrible blanket hog. Oh no, Mr. Raisin looks cold. But as time went by, Mr. Raisin thought less and less about getting rid of the dog. I guess you'll need a name, he said. I will call you Floaty. Mr. Raisin chuckled at the silly name, and he hardly ever chuckled. One morning, when they were out for a walk, the leash snapped and Floaty floated away. Oh no! How do you think Mr. Raisin feels? Let's find out. As Floaty disappeared into the clouds, Mr. Raisin realized how much he loved his dog. Oh. Floaty floated for days and for nights. My goodness. Back at home, Mr. Raisin sent up balloons carrying food just in case his dog floated by. That's a good idea. The food never found Floaty, but he didn't go hungry. What's he eating? Pizza! Mr. Raisin moved to his roof, and he searched the skies day and night for his little dog. But Floaty floated farther and farther away. Oh. Mr. Raisin climbed down from the roof, and Floaty dreamed about home. Mr. Raisin sat in his chair and sewed. What do you think he's sewing? Let's find out. So one night, a big storm came along. Lightning and thunder exploded all around the dog. How do you think Floaty feels? I'd be pretty scared. So just then, a voice called from overhead. Up here, Floaty! Look who it is! Mr. Raisin lowered his freshly sewn hot air balloon and scooped up his dog. Yay! But Mr. Raisin said, blah, you're not too much trouble. You're just the right amount of trouble. The end. That was Floaty by John Himmelman. I love that book. So next up, we have Tiny T-Rex and the Impossible Hug. This is by Jonathan Stutzman and illustrated by Jay Fleck. And again, this is with permission from Chronicle Publishers. So let's see what this one's about. Hello, Pointy. Are you okay? No. Today I feel sad. I do not want to play. So Tiny T-Rex and the Impossible Hug. Let's see. He has a list that says how to make a friend feel better. Cake, smiles, hugs, tacos, and jokes. That's a pretty good list. Whoa, okay, let's get started. I have tiny arms. It's very difficult to hug with tiny arms. Each day, I am growing taller, but my arms are still tiny. Hugging almost seems impossible for a Rex as tiny as me, but I will try anyway because Pointy needs me. What a good friend. Where is my father? I will ask him for advice. Hello, Father. What does Father have to say? Rexes are thinkers, not huggers. Perhaps instead of hugs, Mathematics might be the answer to your problem? Do you think math is the answer? Pointy does not like math. Math will only make Pointy feel worse. Oh. Who else can we ask for advice? Hello, Auntie Junip. I have a problem. I must learn how to hug, but my arms are too tiny. Auntie Junip says, I have found that balance is the key to every problem. Balance and freshly squeezed cucumber juice. Will cucumber juice help Pointy? That is disgusting. I will ask my mother for help instead. Let's see what Mom has to say. Uh-oh, I have fallen and I am now lost. I do not think my mother will find me in here. Hello, Mother. She found him. She says, it's okay if you can't hug, Tiny. You are very good at many other things. You are kind and creative and braver than most. You are tiny, but your heart is very big. And Tiny says, I cannot hug with my heart, Mother. I must learn to hug with my arms. Hello, sister, and hello, brother. Please help me. Hugging is very difficult. We'd love to help, Tiny. Look at the sport they're playing. It's table tennis. That's fun, right? So they say, to do the impossible, you must plan and practice. Practice, practice, practice. Thank you, Trixie and Rory. That is good advice. He looks pretty good at table tennis, right? I bet if he can play table tennis, he can learn how to hug. Let's see what happens. So, he says, I will plan my strategy. Looks pretty complicated. Let's see if he can do it. I will get stronger. I will practice very hard. I will practice my hugs on everything. Wow, look at all those hugs. Trying to hug ice cream? Oh no, I'd rather eat it. Should he hug the cactus? What do you think? Let's see. I will not practice on that anymore. Oh no. I am almost ready. I will practice one more time, and when I am done, I will find my friend. That tree is very big like Pointy. I will hug it. How do you think that's gonna go? Let's see what happens. This is not a tree. What is it? It's a dinosaur. I have made a mistake. Please help. From up here, everything looks tiny like me. I could hug anything I wanted. Oh no. Now I am falling. I should not have let go. Now I will never find Pointy. Uh-oh. Hello, Pointy. Hello, Tiny. I found him. Yay. I am here to make you feel better. I have practiced very hard and hugged many things. My arms are still very tiny and my hugs are still tiny, but I will do my very best because you are my very best friend. Thank you, Tiny. Doesn't Pointy look so much happier? It's the magic of hugs. And that was the biggest hug ever. The end. That's Tiny T-Rex and The Impossible Hug by Jonathan Stutzman and illustrated by Jay Fleck. I hope you enjoyed our books. We read Floaty and Tiny T-Rex. And stay tuned. Make sure you come back to our Facebook page on Friday at 4, same time, and you'll get to see a story time from Miss Carrie. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.